Good afternoon. My name is Dan Lapierre. Welcome to my informative speech. The topic that I've chosen for my informative speech is why the NCAA, or National Collegiate Athletic Association, currently does not have a playoff system with Division I-A football within the Bowl Championship Series, or BCS. The purpose of my speech today is to inform you of the argument for a BCS playoff system and those who oppose it. What is the current BCS? Current BCS is a system that showcases 5 games at the end of the season made up of 10 top teams. It's designed to create 2 top teams that will play for the national championship at the end of the season. The current BCS has been in place since 1998. Football fans argue that a playoff system should absolutely replace the current BCS system. They claim it's the only fair way at the end of the year to crown a true national champion. They blame the BCS for its subjectivity and its profit-motivated directives. And at the end of the day, it leaves the best teams out of the hunt for the national championship. The argument for pro-BCS supporters say that it's best for the schools, the athletes, and the fans. It also generates huge revenues for schools and economies, and less games for student athletes to play, and it's better for the student academics. And often they say that the 2 best teams end up playing for the national championship anyway. How did we get to the current BCS system? Here's a brief historic overview. In 1902, the first Rose Bowl was played in Pasadena, California. Since 1916, every January 1st, the Rose Bowl has played. And it's gotten the nickname, the great granddaddy of them all, and it usually highlights the top Pacific Coast team. In the 1930s, the Cotton Bowl, the Orange Bowl, and the Sugar Bowl were all created to highlight teams in other regions of the country. In the 1940s, college football began to regionalize and form conferences, like the Southeast Athletic Conference, the Pac-10, the Big 12. In 1934, the Associated Press instituted the AP poll that ranked the top 25 teams in the nation. It was voted on by sports writers and popular opinion of the U.S. In 1950 and 1951, a coaches poll instituted top 20 teams. It would be voted on by 59 Division I-A coaches and who the top ranked teams were. In 1992 to 1995, the Bowl Coalition was instituted to force a national championship game. The polls subjectivity were often did not agree. In 1995 to 1997, the Bowl Alliance was formed to match the top 2 teams and have them play in the national championship game. In 1998 to present, the current BCS creates 5 bowl matches made up of 10 top teams, and coaches poll and AP poll decide who play in those teams. According to Oren Starn, professor of cultural anthropology at Duke University, the study shows that the average player of 44.8 hours per week performs their gridiron duties, and Stern calls this an astonishing amount. The purpose of a college athlete is to gain a rich educational experience for the rest of their lives. A playoff system means more games, more time spent practicing, and more time traveling on these already overstretched college athletes, which takes away from their genuine college experience. Current BCS supporters argue that the 13 current week regular season schedule would be extended a month and would interfere with the college student studies. The BCS also makes every game crucial on the national title and therefore creates more revenue because of it. They also argue that BCS conferences have stronger opponents than non-BCS conferences. BCS playoff would mean playing the games in December and January and during the holiday seasons, which would not be fair to student athletes. According to Mike McConnell, writer of The Correspondent, BCS system is flawed. It has failed over and over again. 65 to 70% of all college football fans polled agree with a system that only gets 80% of the, or with the system that only gets it right 80% of the time. Playoff supporters argue in 1998 to 2008, 9 undefeated teams have been excluded, while teams with 1 loss or more were included. BCS coaches are also subject to bias because they vote for their own team to be in that national championship. Since 2004, there's been more undefeated non-champions than the undefeated champions. And finally, the number 1 and number 2 teams played each other only 8 times in 57 seasons. Now that I have informed you that there is currently no playoff system within the NCAA, I have also given you a brief historical overview of how we got into the recent BCS, explained to you the current BCS system, and also gave you an argument for BCS supporters on why they support the current system that they have, and they also argue for a playoff series within the BCS. In conclusion, I would say that both BCS supporters and playoff enthusiasts have very valid points for both things that they argue for. I would support a playoff system as a sports fan, but I would also understand that extending the season might be unfair, especially to student athletes that have to play college games within the holiday season. The thing here is fans and athletes don't get a choice within within this vote. The decision is made with the conference directors, the university, and coaches. I would like to thank you very much for listening to my informative speech, and I would like to take this moment to open it up if there's any questions. Thank you.